This is a little unusual, but I have been requested to make a clearer version of this little booklet, Adisaflenka GMR, all the average student of foreign language ever needs to know about grammar. So I'll take my time, and maybe if I don't move it, somebody would really like to use it. The bare necessities of grammar, the tests. I do teach this in my course separately, but I don't know if this will. There's the 7 tests for the parts of speech. All the average person ever needs to know about nouns. There are various kinds. TAVCO means there are various kinds of nouns. This is intensely abbreviated. Grouped by form, simple, compound, phrasal, grouped by meaning, common, proper, concrete. I'm not going to read it all. I mean, I will if somebody really wants me to, but I'm hoping that now it can be read. Let me slide this over. Case, gender, declension. That's a group by case, group by gender. The declension of a noun. If this doesn't work, it's not a big deal. I can just do it over. All the average person ever needs to know about verbs. Now, see, I abbreviate an abbreviation. Now it's ADA. All the average person ever needs to know about verbs. There are various kinds of verbs. If you group them by meaning, action, state of being, following list must be recognized as possible linking verbs, LV linking verbs, all the forms of to be. Now this is in a chart, and now it's a fairly unsatisfactory test for a linking verb other than to be. Does it work in I blank good, I feel good, I look good? Regular, if you group them by form, you've got regular or irregular. Conjugation, it's a paradigm. It's a way of organizing information. And here's the paradigm of the verb, a regular verb, to talk. In English, a paradigm is so simple. I mean, here's the 6 tenses, principal parts. Some people say there's 5. Some people say there's 3. Talk, talked, talked. Now you get to the verb to go. That's a little bit more interesting. It's an irregular verb, so in the past it goes to I went. First, second, third, past tense, I went. But see, it doesn't change as you go through the persons. English is relatively simple. I'd once looked into why would it do that? That's kind of an interesting study. Conjugation, the most irregular verb in English, to be. And there's the conjugation, the 6 tenses, the principal parts. Am, was, been, being, to be. Am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been. There's 8 forms of the verb to be. And the kids, I told them they really need to recognize them. Am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been. Helping verbs, they're also called auxiliaries. They help to change tense, voice, forms, and mood. Here's examples of different tenses, of different voices, of different forms, the progressive form. Now the words, the terms I'm using come basically from traditional American grammar. Read Kellogg, conditional moods, or different moods, indicative. I wonder where imperative is. Maybe I left imperative out, where you make a command. Well, it's because the helping verbs aren't necessary. All the average person ever needs to know about adjectives, or all the average student of foreign language ever needs to know about adjectives. Form, meaning. Demonstrative adjectives make a little paradigm. The comparison, that makes a little paradigm. Sexy, sexy, or sexiest. Boy, my 8th graders, all you had to do is use that word sexy, and they woke up all of a sudden. This chart, I think I maybe have it elsewhere in this course. I hope I do. I'll hold it still for a little. Verbs, adverbs, conjunctions, prepositions, nouns, adjectives. This is interjections, IJ interjections, and this is pronouns. And see, there's so much overlapping. The most complicated word in English really is the word that. Where is it? Here it is, that, because it can be one of 4 different things. All right, let's see. All the average student of foreign language ever needs to know about adverbs. There's primary ones, derivative ones. You can group them by manner. How, when, where, why. How, when, where, why. How, when, where, why. I tell kids they need to memorize that. Simple or complex, where they do more than modify. Transitional, relative, correlative, work as pairs. Here's the comparison of an adverb. All the average student of foreign language ever needs to know about pronouns. Now, pronouns are more interesting. The comparison of a pronoun, or I mean the declension of a pronoun, personal pronouns, pretty complicated. Reflexive, intensive. Relative, interrogative, adjective pronouns. This is my chalk. You see it's doing two things. It's modifying chalk and it's taking the place of Frank in my case. Possessive pronouns, they're confusing because they overlap the declension of the personal of demonstrative pronouns. I don't have time. I'm not going to take the time to read all this stuff. I'm just hoping that if I go slower, it'll be able to be read. Prepositions, simple, compound, phrasal. More than one word, according to Hoyle. According to, it's two words, but it's one preposition. And you really do need to recognize these. When I was like in 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade, and most students in the old days, they had to memorize a list of about 40 prepositions. And they were in alphabetical order, the way people memorize them, which is more or less what I've done here. The word to is also a function word. That's a complicated word. Conjunctions. How, when, where, why. They can be conjunctions. And interjections. You can group them by form, by meaning, and then euphemisms. All right, I think now this was a booklet I made. Here's the abbreviations. But it's the abbreviations for the entire booklet, I think. I don't know. I mean, now I'm pulling this up out of the past. All right, I've done this for Matthew Dierking, I think is his name. And maybe I'll do it better. All right, let's see. I had to pink all the average person ever needs to know about whatever. Oh, Breton Clayton did that. Now this was a lot of the entire book, the notes that the kids took in 1997. All right, there you go. Bye for now.